You were talking about chasing feelings when you're writing songs. What were you chasing when writing Stargazing?
Stargazing was a cool one, man. Like we were, and this is me, Pete, and Jesse. We just booked an Airbnb in Malibu, and we said, you know what? Like we've done like 30 songs by this point, and we're like, should we just write something that we just don't think and try finish it within half an hour? And we were like, yeah, great idea. We spent this whole weekend trying to be smart, which none of us are. And trying to, like, do internal rhymes and metaphors and all that rubbish. And we were like, let's just no-brain this and go, let's try and put love and the feeling, of love and finding that person, which we've all had similar experiences with in life, and try articulate that in like the most simple way possible. And yeah, within like 20 minutes, we wrote Stargazing. And at the time, we were all like, oh, cool song. And it wasn't even in like our top 5 of the songs that we wrote that 4 days we were there. And so about 2 days later, me and Pete go and do a finishing day, which is like where you go and like finish up recording on ideas you really liked. And we pulled up Stargazing. It was like, oh, it's cool. It's got legs. And then me and Pete were just experimenting with instruments, and Pete just started droning on the piano. And I remember going, holy shit. And he looked at me and he's so like energetic, and he was like, we got one. And yeah, we printed it. I took it home at about 3 a.m. in the morning, and my manager was there, my brother was there, my best friend Dom, who I flew in from Nashville because I'd just signed with the label at this point. And I played it through the house speakers. I've never stayed in a mansion before this, by the way, and I didn't pay for it. The label did. It was like I just signed. I was like, I'm getting a fucking mansion. I was like, and a pool. I want a pool. We can't do pools in the UK. It's freezing. And so like we played it through the ceiling speakers, which I've also never had. I'm from Luton, working class as hell, and I was like playing it through ceiling speakers. Didn't realise it was the whole house. Blared it. And I just remember my manager jumping up, and he was like, what is this? And I was like, you've never done that to any song I've ever sent you in my life. And yeah, FaceTime at A&Rs in the UK. It must have been like so early in the morning for them. They were like, this is incredible. FaceTime Derek, who's my US A&R. He's a very big character. And he was like, we got one. And yeah, matter of weeks later, it was the art of just perfecting the record, because it was still a real scratch, like no true lead vocals or harmonies on it. And over the weeks, I was like, I'd put the snippet up on TikTok and it blew up instantly. And I was like, oh, I got to finish this record. And so me and Pete were back and forth in for like a month, and then yeah, eventually put the record out.
So do you put the snippet on TikTok after everybody's like receiving it really well, or?
Yeah, well, yeah, after my like sort of internal team were like, this is really dope. And then there was this conversation with the label where they were like, we should hold on to this one for a little bit. But I'm like so excitable. Like when I love something, I'll be like, yeah, we'll hold on to it for 3 weeks, post immediately after, as I did. And so no one was ready for the record. Everyone was like, whoa, like we have to put a marketing plan together. We have to like activate all the markets.
Yeah, but these things, like, that's how they're born today.
Yeah. And
it's always catching up.
I know, it's really cool. I've got a little bit more like sensible as I've gone on in terms of like finding songs I love. But with that one particularly, I remember them specifically saying, let's hold it for a few weeks. And I hung up. I was like, post. I was like, post that shit. Yeah, it felt so good.
Yeah, but like the truth is, like the algorithm could have been different 3 weeks from that day.
100%.
Like it's all like that. It is a weird gamble. Like
yeah, I know. But to be fair, being a new artist, and bear in mind, hadn't released a record with them, and they told me, don't do it. Well, not don't release a song, but don't do it anytime soon. It was like super ballsy, but the way they responded so quickly was like immense. Like they know nothing about me in terms of like, but at this point I'm still no one. And so the fact that they just all gathered around me like globally around this song that they'd never been a part of, and yeah, we're just like, it's go time. And yeah, it grew, and it's still doing a thing, which is awesome.